Okay, I would like to call this regular monthly meeting of the Palmyra-Eagle Area School District School Board to order at 7 p.m. Can we have a roll call?
Yep. Tara Leroy.
Here.
Michael Eddy. Here. Zach Rakowski. Here. Doris Parsons. Here. Jean Reed. Here. Mitzi Roszewski. Here. Christiana Williams.
Here. We have a full board, so that's a quorum. Read the district mission statement. To ensure that students excel in intellect and virtue, inspired by innovative educators who engage and challenge each individual. Would you all join me for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I will move to approve the agenda.
I'll second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And this stands as printed. Do we have any public comment at this time?
Yes, I probably do. Yes. I don't know. Is that where?
I think you're under board monitor.
Oh, she's under board.
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure how they put me in. Sorry about that.
No, but if anybody wants to say anything, public comment, here, Brad didn't get anything via email.
Nope.
Okay, so we will move. Oh,
If I may, my name is Nicholas Patel. I'm Owen's father here. We're from Whitewater, Wisconsin, and we came over to the school district because Whitewater was not open. And since coming to your school district, we've been very pleased, very happy, very thankful. You guys have the kids at school. Everybody seems to be working hard to keep everybody going. And this time right now it's a little bit new for everybody. And I see big students first push and community first at the school. And I'm almost thankful in a way that this has happened because now my children are in a school that aligns much more with the types of values we hold in our home. So thank you guys for keeping everything moving.
oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Welcome. It's wonderful to have you. All right, board monitoring. Ms. Dopperstein.
Did I go anywhere special?
You can go right there. I think the camera will catch it.
All right.
We don't have a microphone. Are you picking us up, Brad?
Oh, we're not using it anymore. We haven't been using it.
Should still hear her.
Well, I just want to really thank the board for providing this opportunity for me to acknowledge the talents of the wonderful students we have at Eagle Elementary. The Youth Art Month usually takes place during the month of March, and it usually takes place down at the Capitol in Madison. Their artwork would have been on display down there. It's put on by the Wisconsin Art Education Association, which I currently serve on the board for. I started out as a VP for the Southeast region, overseeing the regional Youth Art Month show. And then this year I was the chair for the state, so I oversaw the state show. And starting May 1st, I am the president-elect for 2 years. And then in 2 years, I'll be the president of the Wisconsin Art Education Association. And the reason I say that, because they don't only provide opportunities for teachers to lead, but also for our students to shine and lead. And these ladies that are here tonight with us are they're just fantastic. They are not just wonderful artists and talented, but they also are future leaders. And they are just absolutely brilliant. And they may not go on to be artists, but the skills they've learned in art will help them be innovative thinkers and solve problems creatively. So I'm very, very proud of them. I want to start with Governor Evers issued a proclamation letter for our district, and I just want to hand this off to pass down for our copy to be passed out. Take a look at. We'll pass actually pass one around here for Youth Art Month, because that especially, and each one of our students should have gotten one in the mail also. I'll start that. And then I would like to go ahead. I'm going to read all the names. We're missing a couple people. But I'm going to start with the students. So there's over 900 art teachers that are a member of Wisconsin Art Education Association. And we received probably close to 600 entries. So that these girls have their artwork in the show is just being in the show is phenomenal all on its own. So for the regional show, actually I'm gonna have ladies come on up here. Come on up here, stand up here. So they have you go up and down. Okay, so I'm gonna start out with the regional show. We have Alyssa Bentel. That's for the regional. Is Evelyn here? And Aurelia. She had hers in the regional show. We have our state show. We have one more regional one. We have our state show with also Alyssa. That's the state show. And Erin Sudbrink, who is not here, hers was in the state show. And Evelyn Bauman. Oh, I'm sorry, I got these mixed up here. These are the state, these are the regional. The purple are the state, because I picked panda colors. so let me give that one. I was wondering why I didn't have Sophie's. Sophie, grab yours. There we go. There's your state. So the purple are their state show winners, and then the gold is their regional. And these students who are not here are Erin Sudbrink, Evelyn Bauman, and Annabeth Dudley, who actually probably would have been here, but she's in quarantine. And also Evelyn's went on to the national level too. But we have a very, very special award tonight for Alyssa. This has never happened in all my times doing this, that one of my students gets picked for this. But she was picked for our state superintendent award. So this is the letter that was written by Carolyn Sanford Taylor. She said, "Dear Alyssa, congratulations on being awarded the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction's Youth Art Month Award for 2021. The overall honor, plus being showcased at the Wisconsin Youth Art Month virtual show, highlights the talent and hard work and artistic skills you have mastered. The piece you submitted shows incredible use of color and perspective. I wish you all the best in your artistic endeavors," and that is from Carolyn Sanford Taylor, our state superintendent. And here is her award from that. Something from our principal. We've teamed up, these are from our school. We also have a certificate for each of you from our school because we're just so proud of each of you. Sophie is yours, and
So you're all doing it a swag bag of everything Eagle. And then there is something else that we'll be presenting, but we won't be able to announce it on the loudspeaker at school. So that's our surprise.
Aurelia is yours. Oh, listen. There's yours. So let's give these girls a hand. And again, thank you for allowing us this opportunity to let them shine.
Get their teacher in there too.
I was going to say, can I actually get a round of applause too from Ms. Sauerstein? She goes above and beyond.
All of us.
That is so awesome. I'm so proud of all you girls.
Thank you.
You know what? Thank you so much. What an honor for our district. That's fantastic. It really is. And in a lot of districts, as they fight to keep art and music and band and everything alive, we've done that here. And this is absolutely why. Because you're right. If they're not going to go on to be artists, they're going to still use absolutely everything they learned in doing that in every aspect of their life. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. And I was going to share that students who take art in high school score an average of 92 points higher on their SAT scores. And just in 2019, the art contributed $804 million to the economy. So it's not a dying field. It is very vibrant.
Very vibrant.
And Netflix I bet you. COVID and Netflix, it went even higher.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you.
Sure. All right. E, discussion of mask mandate.
You want to flip
Switch
to
it.
C?
that one?
Switch that.
Okay.
B and C.
C,
Yep.
this is our puppy.
She is a traveler.
Professional fetcher.
Professional fetcher, beautiful card.
Because we didn't have a way, I just wanted, I printed out a copy of the PowerPoint because the pictures are phenomenal in there. And then also, talking about art, I almost brought it down and I wish I didn't realize this presentation. A senior last year, for a senior project, did a portrait of our school dog Rose that is just absolutely beautiful. There's a picture of it in the PowerPoint. So hi everyone, to those of you that don't know me, I'm Miss Lee J. I'm a high school business teacher. And most of you, if you don't know Rose, you haven't seen her. Rose is our district dog. We call her our school dog. And we had a really kind of exciting opportunity to go to New Orleans and talk to school districts, well actually teachers from school districts all across the United States about how to get school dogs into their schools. And it was really, really cool for me to see, because when we were at the conference, the teachers were responding to Rose like our students responded to Rose. They were from all over the United States. They were all missing their students, their families, and their own pets. And so they were all fighting over Rose. Who was going to get to go by Rose? And so what I did was an overview of basic what you look for in a school dog training, but then I really went into why school dogs, what can they do? Some schools will have a dog that's either in guidance or they're in special ed, and they've been really isolated, and a lot of schools haven't even thought of a school dog yet. And so my most learning about this whole thing was the conference was amazing. I've already been in contact with a school district in Idaho who's already wanting to pursue this and try to get a dog into their school. But it was actually making the presentation, because I had no idea how much Rose is a part of our district until I did the call for photos. All of a sudden I was getting all these selfies from students with Rose that are really cool. There's one in there that you all can see where the angle with the student is just the coolest thing. Then I started thinking about curriculum. How has Rose been incorporated into curriculum? Because, we have to get buy-in from our districts on that. And all of a sudden I realized English department has used Rose in curriculum. She's been part of the school newspaper. Panther Banter, our broadcast media, they use Rose periodically throughout doing that. As I mentioned, our art program has used Rose in more than one setting for that. And then I use her in business. I handed out to the board the cards that my students made for our trip. They did a newsletter to announce that Rose was going to start coming into schools. But I want to keep this brief because I can talk about this. I'm very passionate about it forever. But the conference went phenomenally. But I want to go ahead and actually read to you, and I'm going to set Rose down now, some testimonials that I received, because they even surprised me the effects that Rose has had. And I'll probably tear up because I did when I did the presentation too. Because as you all know, as a district, we've had some bumps in the road. And Rose has been with them through the bumps in the road. The first one is from a senior basketball player from this year. As a basketball player in high school, it was hard not being able to have fans because the gyms were empty and the atmosphere was not what it used to be. So before games, I used to see a packed gym, and this year I didn't. But I got to see my favorite dog, Rose. She was dancing to the music that was played during warm-ups, and it was a sight to see. Even though she's blind, we still made eye contact, and I knew she was watching me. I had one of my best games because Rose was there. Rose does a lot for me as an individual. Even if we lost, seeing Rose after the game cheered me up. As a senior, I'm going to miss Rose greatly next year. She does a lot more than the average dog. She changes people's days, and that's what matters most. She's the most well-behaved dog I've ever seen and knows when it's time to learn and when it's time to play. I would encourage all schools to get a service dog like Rose. Rose changes people's days at school. Even after games, everyone needs a Rose in their life. And then a middle schooler wrote, I really like Rose whenever I'm having a bad day or just trying to get through the day. I can pet Rose and it makes me feel better. Everyone loves Rose. When kids feel mad in Miss Lee J's room, Rose goes up to them and waits to be petted. During passing periods, Rose is in the halls waiting for kids to come and see her. Rose, and that was from a junior special education student. Rose means a lot to me because it's always cute to see her trot down the hallways, or she'll stop and look at you with her big eyes and wag her tail. It's always nice to have her around too. And the thing is, these testimonials, and I'm going to read just a couple more because I know I want to keep this short. But what we did was we took these testimonials and we took the names off and we took our school ID off and we created a website through Wix, and anybody who wants to see the website, I have the link for it. And what these testimonials are doing is helping schools see and create that buy-in. And if anybody wants to follow Rose, she does have her own Instagram. She will not, and I always put that out there, we don't, because I'm her person, we don't follow anybody. We don't follow any students because we were really careful about social media. But Rose does have her own Instagram, and it is called classroom_dog_Rose. And there's lots of pictures from the trip on there. And the students, and it's kind of funny because I caught them when they were supposed to be in class going on Rose's Instagram and liking her pictures, and so I teased them when I got back. But what's really cool is our testimonials, our students, like I read, and now I'm going to read a section from one of our lovely board members. So we have a board member, we have students, we have teachers, and then I'll probably wrap up with Miss Tim, what she wrote about Rose as well, because that shows other districts that Rose is appreciated and what she does across the district, because as we all know, buy-in is very important, especially when you're doing something out of the norm, like having a dog in a school. So students know and love that she will be a part of their special events and many activities. Rose can be found everywhere, from basketball games to the fun of homecoming events to graduation ceremonies. Her fun fashion wardrobe puts a smile on the faces of all who see her, even if it's only a passing glance in the hallway. While she may not quite look like the typical therapy dog, which I really appreciated that statement, I believe that there is also a part of her, that is also a part of her magic way with students. They know Rose is special in her own unique way and needs to be treated with special care. She is treated with kindness, accepted and loved by students the same as she accepts and loves each of them. At the end of the day, these are some of the most important lessons we can teach our children: to be kind and to accept and love one another. Palmyra-Eagle Area School District is fortunate to be able to spread the message with the help of their furry little friend. And then, I know I want to keep this short. I could read tons more, but I'm going to read one that happened just really right before we left for the trip. Miss Rose, as I call our therapy dog, has been a breath of fresh air. This is from one of our teachers in our school. When I am out and about and run into Miss Rose, she instantly warms my heart and puts an immediate smile on my face. She greets me with tail wagging and soft, gentle eyes, which makes me feel like she's missed me immensely since the last time we met. I love seeing her prance through the halls, looking for students to stop and greet. I love seeing the kids and teachers, for that matter, fight over who is going to get to hold her. I especially love sitting next to Rose at staff meetings. This part really made me think, something that she always goes to staff meetings, but I didn't realize that she had this effect. She makes the time pass quicker and can help me de-stress with some tense topics. Teachers deal with tense topics and during staff meetings too. But the true reason Rose is here is for the students, not me. I hear how the students talk about her. They've come to love her and cherish her. I recently witnessed Rose at work with a young student who I found in the bathroom having an anxiety attack. The student was out of breath and trembling. I invited her to my classroom to hang out and chat. Miss Lee J. brought Rose in, and she immediately greeted the student with a tail wagging and a few sniffs of her boots. The student began to smile a bit, reached down to pet Rose. You can see the student's anxiety start to slip away. Her breathing was normalizing and she was not trembling as she was earlier. This is the true epitome of a therapy dog. So again, if anybody's interested, I'm going onto the website. There's more testimonials than I could even begin to dream. Like I said, handlers really reached out when I gave them this opportunity to talk about their dog. Oh, and I will end with Miss Tim. And I will mention, and Miss Tim probably won't mind, that she is a cat person.
I am not a dog person.
Okay, so this is very high regard. Rose has become a member of the Panther family over the last few years. She is often seen running the halls and moving from staff member to staff member during meetings and in service. She brings stress relief to students and adults alike. We have been able to have Rose visit students during difficult times, and many students can be seen stopping to pet her and say hello each day. Rose is really just another member of the Palmyra-Eagle family, staff, and family, and we are lucky to have her. So thank you so much for giving me your time, and I know that I was supposed to talk about the convention, but I felt like it was really important to talk about these testimonials because that is what really sells the teachers, and that's what's going to sell the districts, because I can talk about the fact that they've done statistics that show that disciplinary problems go down with a school dog, stress goes down with a school dog. I can say those when the cows come home, but it's the meat and potatoes from our staff and our students and our board, administration, that really are going to help other districts have this great opportunity. So thank you for your time.
Rose is actually cutting edge. After Rose made a few appearances at some of the dissolution hearings, other local districts all of a sudden were saying, oh, we're going to get one of these dogs. I mean, at board meetings,
Yeah,
they wanted to get approval to have a dog like Rose.
that's
So
wonderful.
it's fantastic to have that here. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for getting, well, all of you have this opportunity from the board and administration. I really honestly thought you all could run with. Thank you. And being a teacher, being a part of this kind of a district that allows us to have innovative ideas is huge, and that's why Palmyra-Eagle's my home.
Aw, thank you.
And Rose. I get fancy Christmas.
Well, we're really taking a downturn now talking about masks. Those two things.
You don't have to talk about it.
Only if there's something new. We had talked about it at a special board meeting 2 weeks ago because of the Supreme Court breakdown of the mask mandate. So just so people know, the board is on that to determine whether or not we're going to continue. Most of the districts in our area and our state are continuing the new. Okay, you guys, yeah, you can all go.
Thank you guys, and congratulations. And I just have this next where it's gotta go.
No.
You guys got to see her. No, I wanted to see them. Did they? All of us were.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful?
Can we get that?
And you can do that for records, you know, that it was given her. Will they be in display?
I'd like to see that.
It was inspired by Monet.
Oh, yeah. What grade are you?
She's got way more talent than I do at my age.
I love the color.
Those giraffe ears.
Can I get a picture of your artwork?
I think I'm going to
So impressive.
3 years.
You should take a walk down the hallway and check out the high school artwork on display in front of the office there. Because we know you're going to have some awesome stuff in a few years down there. Thank you for coming. Come again.
One in the White House.
Get a cat. I don't care. My cat.
The German Shepherd in the White House.
All right. Hey, Carrie, has anybody said anything about the mask? What's the feedback?
We're back.
I have a few children I've had to correct that we've been lenient on inappropriate wearing, but not wearing it all is not going to work. I tell them I love their face, but I don't want to see it. So that's gone over well.
My
did take their child out for virtual. Nothing else really has been said one way or another. Currently, I have no positives. I have no district quarantine kids, and I think I only have 2 or 3 non-district quarantine kids. I don't know what Katie's kept current numbers. I didn't look at the dashboard this week.
Why did somebody take their kid out when we kept the policy? Or they took it out because
We had a lot.
They didn't want the policy.
We had them on both sides of the track.
Oh, they didn't want the mask to be on. So they-
Yes, the one that went virtual
Oh,
did not want to wear masks. So,
okay.
yeah, and they're virtual, doing their learning that way and all of that. So, I'm not opposed to, as we get in the next couple weeks here, continuing to look at numbers, see where things are before the May meeting and have some conversations. Prior to that, I don't know if C&P can talk about it prior to. I feel like putting you guys on the spot here to have a conversation about it and make a decision the same night is probably not fair. So I don't know what anybody has for thoughts about that. But
We should probably take it up at C&P and then.
Well, I think,
meeting with somebody.
are we gonna survey?
that's the
Because
decision.
if that's gonna happen, that should happen, we should make that call to ask them to do it tonight, so we have the
Yeah.
time to get the results back
I'd like to see that.
and look it over.
I'd like to have a feel. I mean, we have a
I
kind
mean,
of a feel,
yeah, I
but
mean, I
I'd
can
like
tell
to
you
know.
nobody's been blowing on my inbox complaining. I mean, I can tell you what's gone on within the building.
Yeah.
If you want to survey,
I'd like to see it.
like you talked last meeting, you better be prepared to go with what the survey results say.
Do you have a recommendation?
Well, if you're gonna do a survey, I would, in some way to make it non-binding. The only thing I worry about is Michigan now is spiking. Minnesota, well, I'm not sure what's going on in Minnesota, but they've had some issues. And I would hate to say, say 60% of the people say no mask and go for no mask, and all of a sudden, something hits Wisconsin. But if it's non-binding, if there's a way to say, this is advisory, that may make sense. Most businesses still have the requirement, at least the ones I've been to. So I don't know, it's a tough call. I think you're right, if you survey and a huge overwhelming majority says no mask, then you're probably bound to go in that direction.
Well, hopefully we'll have more signs and more numbers by then too. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I've got 2 questions. How many days left?
30 some,
I knew you'd know it.
30 some.
So it's not 12 weeks, I understand.
Yes. No one's counting them.
So if there's a possibility, and I don't know if this is just, if we get to a point where, we're getting a mixed bag of results back, can those that want to wear masks, and those that don't?
I'm never going to tell anyone they can't wear one.
No.
Wear it forever as far as I'm concerned at this
Well,
point.
what I think you would do is say, we're going to, strong recommendation to wear masks, but not mandatory. I think that probably is, I've seen some businesses go to that. So I don't know where that would end up, but when would you expect the survey to go out?
Before the end of the month, basically.
Okay.
And are we literally just asking about masks?
And who specifically are we surveying?
You mean parents and
Parents, yeah.
and employees, yeah. And can it be a,
Google form, probably.
Well, I'm not a
you're not the survey?
fan, no, I'm not, because I think we have an obligation to make a decision here one way or another as far as the board goes. I don't want to be driven by a survey, because honestly, I hate masks. I would be the first one, I'm not wearing this, it's hard to read, it's hard to talk, it's hard to hear. But looking at the variant in Michigan that's affecting children so badly, that they're saying Wisconsin's going to be the next Michigan, I'm not comfortable saying we shouldn't do that. I'm open to what you guys want to do. I do want to hear what our staff and our families want, so I understand that, and I do think, as Todd said, that if it's a non-binding, we're totally recommended, but if we've got people who aren't, I mean, I'm fully vaccinated, so I suppose, you know, people are fully vaccinated. If you're not going to wear a mask, you're not going to wear a mask. You've got a reason for that. So it's a really tough call.
I would think if we waited another week to 10 days, we probably will see what happens from, if any of that, from Michigan kind of transfers into Wisconsin, which would buy us a little bit of time. But then again, adding that, you know, barring any unforeseen spikes or anything like this, would you be interested in removing the mask mandate? Something to that effect, so that the board of the district still has some flexibility if we need to put that back in place.
And I think Carrie had brought up a concern. I think in the survey we should maybe include a question asking if it would change their parents' decision to go in person versus virtual, because if we make any changes and that does drastically affect that, and we need to address maybe more virtual students, we need to be prepared to offer those services or make those accommodations. And I think that is probably a bigger concern than people actually catching COVID by removing the mask. And I can also share, I know each Troy school district being very similar in size to us, they voted last night as a board to keep their mask mandate through the end of this school year and through summer school. So that is another school surrounding us, and they did mention that they are seeing in Walworth County increase in COVID cases, so they are monitoring that very closely over there as well.
Right.
I feel like it's really difficult to compare our district to anybody else's numbers. Although maybe Elkhorn would be kind of close. They went in person when their numbers in their area were sky high. And they just kept on keeping on the same way that we have. So maybe a comparison there. But other than that, I mean, if you look at the dashboard right now, we have 0. We have 2 out for non-district quarantines. And when we've had cases, they haven't been high. My concern, as stated at the last meeting, is that I do not want to see kids go back and fall with masks on. I feel like we have an opportunity now to see if we can take the masks off and keep it the way that it's been. And that would be my goal.
See, I think that, you're right, I do like that idea. I see that we've been so successful this whole year. At this point, I think we have some really big things that are coming up that I would really hate for us to jeopardize. Prom, graduation, awards night, spring sports.
What if we started it at the elementary school and phased in? What if we started with the kids that aren't going to prom, that aren't graduating?
However, we are a community, as I said before, and we impact the community. So we have siblings that go across two buildings. We have community impact as well. And I guess we're looking at 35 days.
Somewhere in there. Last year we got a senior.
That's a lot of time to have a mask on, in my opinion, so.
And I will be the first to say, kids have worn masks for longer periods of time, for more days than I ever envisioned when I started.
Yeah.
But every day we did it, and every day we stayed open, and those around us did not. I don't know, whether it's on here, whether it's a mask, I can't answer the question.
And there's only one way to know.
I've been scared to take the mask off and find out the answer until we get to a point where we feel safe in the community.
I'd like to point out once again that the Jefferson County Health Department does not believe in the mask because it's an effective quarantine. If he's got COVID and I'm wearing a mask,
Correct, it does not impact quarantine.
Yeah.
But it does, that's
it's almost like they're admitting to themselves that, well, we kind of know the masks really aren't going to stop the virus from spreading.
Well, their argument is that it doesn't.
But
So their
there's-
argument
but-
would be it doesn't prevent you from being in contact, but they hope it will prevent you from decrease your chances of getting it. I mean, that's the argument from the health department. And that was the letter, I think, Todd, that was basically what Sarah said, is, you know, the mandate is gone and Jefferson County Health Department did not, or no village that I know of in Jefferson County picked up a mandate, maybe Whitewater has one, I believe. But their recommendation is to wear them to prevent spread. Again, believe what you want, I can't prove or disprove it. I just know that's where it is right now.
The other piece too is we've not had, very little outcry to get rid of them. You had one or two parents, express, well, one actually followed through by taking the student virtual, but we really haven't had anyone come out and battle this. And in fact, I've not heard it happening much in any other districts. And I guess I'm a bit surprised because I thought East Troy was almost there as removing the mask, but now they're going to stay with them. And same with Delavan. They originally were going to say no masks, then they're doing a parent survey. And my understanding is that the parent survey comes back and says keep masks, they're going to keep them. So maybe at this point, people are understanding that, we want to get through those last 36 days and not. So we have a couple of weeks until the C&P meeting, and I guess just.
And I think you could talk about summer school for sure. I mean, I think, and I'm not opposed to talking. I mean, if you want to talk about it again in May, and the decision is they're not required, that isn't. I'm not going to. Yeah. That's not my hill to die on. But I think summer school it's optional. You don't have to come. Similar to prom. It's not an event that you have to attend.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And again, they can wear them. We just don't.
And for summer school, we could say recommended but not mandatory, and so that really.
Because I agree with you. I don't want to start school with them next year. I mean, if we're in the same place, my hope would be not. And I understand that hesitancy, but we jumped in this year and didn't hesitate on everything we did and knocked on one up there. It worked out okay.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I guess that I really feel that if we haven't had a lot of parents requesting this, we had what, 2?
But they're just not.
Well, actually,
so
two
why-
on either side. One, please keep masks. The other one, let's get rid of masks.
And you got no complaints about them saying it?
No, I had one who was the opposite, that they went away and she would go to virtual.
So if we're not seeing a lot of people asking for it, we know it seems to be working. Let's address it let's finish our school year.
Well,
That's not fair.
When we do it
That's
at
not
prom,
fair,
they're going to be wearing
because
masks at prom. And they're going to be wearing masks when they go pick up their diploma, and they're going to be wearing masks everything they do.
And I feel like
You can't say, we'll let you have prom without a mask, but then when you come to school on Monday, you need a mask.
You've got to be kidding yourself.
Well, the WIA already said they would play sports without a mask, and we're doing that. So prom is off-site. I don't feel that I'm not doing what we said we would do by doing that. Graduation,
How can we say you have to wear a mask in this building, but if you go to a school-sanctioned event, we're not going to require it?
because everybody has to come to this building. Not everybody has to go to prom, not everybody has to play sports.
But if the masks are protecting the kids, and that's the whole reason we have to wear them. See, we're almost acting like we're just wearing them for fun here. If they're protecting the kids at school, then they're going to have to be protected at prom. I mean, we have to make up our mind on this. The board does.
Some have, so.
And I think we can wait till May. I think we can get through another month, but, I mean,
No, I agree with that.
poor kids have been wearing these masks every day. They try to make me wear them at my job. We don't do it. Adults don't do it.
I think if we can wait till
Kids
May.
playing instruments in a band room, they got a mask on their face that opens up, and they're blowing air through the instrument. It's coming out the holes.
So what I heard is that we're going to do a survey, and it's somewhat non-binding, and we'll talk about it in C&P.
I don't think that you can judge whether or not parents care about this based on, we haven't heard anything in a week. I could have got on a soapbox and said, hey parents, call Katie, call Carrie, tell them what you want, and they would have blown up.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
I didn't.
And so I don't feel like you can judge based on this week. It's,
And then you gotta also understand where the staff sits on it, so that's why.
Well, and I think we don't know, for crying out loud, they just pulled the Johnson & Johnson vaccine because of blood clots. So that, I mean, that was one of the 3 big vaccines that no longer, that's pulled. So it's so ambiguous. I mean, nobody knows. So I think some people are just, you can't figure it out, you can't make a decision because for crying out loud, everybody wanted that vaccine, including Eugene, because it was the one and done. And now all of a sudden, that's the one that's you're gonna have blood clot. So there's so many, right, I'm 1 in a million. But it's
Right.
just so unsure. I think if we can, if everybody's good with waiting till May, early May, and we throw it past curriculum policy and we'll know a little bit more what happened in Michigan, what's happening here. If you hear any more parent type things, that'll be before prom, before senior night, before graduation, because I agree, you don't want those kids.
I want a survey though, I would like a survey, because I mean, so we can have more information to make the decision in May. I'd wait till May, but I think we should have a survey.
if people are going to use the fact of reaching out to our administrators of whether or not how they're going to decide right now, I want to see a survey so we can actually hear from the parents.
Okay, so a non.
I go back to what are we asking besides math? Anybody seen anybody else? I mean, I can do some calling, but literally, are we talking one question besides demographic survey about math wearing, or is there more you want?
Masks, and then cover the whether or not they'll change to virtual.
Okay, you change your mode of instruction.
Right.
Carrie, I can help read
Okay.
questions.
Okay.
I think that's what we're
I
looking
can help you, and then
for.
we can actually share that with the board anytime, and then,
Yep.
you know, at the May 4th meeting, maybe.
Look over the results.
We can throw on there, are you considering your child coming to summer school? If so, would that be, let's throw that in there too, because I actually think summer school, we probably would want to not do masks.
Plus, I could give us some numbers for summer school just in general, aside from the math.
Right. So that might even help promote summer school a little bit, is to get it out there that we're having it, what we're having, and what's your feelings there? Okay.
Tell them I'll work on something, I'll see if I can get my hands on a couple other ones too, and go from there.
And what, I realized I could call last time you guys did it quick,
Yeah, I haven't passed.
the survey.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Anything else on that?
Can I just thank Ms. Tim from a staff perspective of how much work she's put in this year, and I firmly believe that she's one of the main reasons why we've been face-to-face all year, because of all the rapid response, and Kaylee's going to be part of that too, the rapid response to do the tracing back for the students, to get those students out and get them quarantined. And I know, because I just came from a conference, how many schools haven't been face-to-face at all year, or they go out and they don't come back in face-to-face, so thank you so much.
And it is not a one-person job, I wouldn't know without either of you. So.
Yes.
But it's true, and that's a very
Yeah.
valid point. We really, because of all of your efforts, we've been able to stay face-to-face, and that's so important.
Yep.
It's huge, so thank you.
Then we heard it, we had an open enrollment in, because we were open. I know we have others too, but I mean, that's something to consider as well.
Yeah. Okay, committee reports, PR, that's,
We met on the 18th.
The 18th.
18th, and it was probably one of our record short meetings because we were missing a few of our normal attendees, so we went through pretty quick, didn't get off track so much. So there wasn't a whole lot.
Are you blaming it on me? I'm the one that gets you off track.
Well, Katie was tied up too, so.
You were in Las Vegas.
I know. Wonderful, that's way more.
So basically, we just covered, everybody would have gotten the community email, or community mailer that went out in the mail. Big thank you to Katie and Caitlin for creating and getting that out. I think it was really well done, and that went to everyone in the district in the school district, so that was great. And then we talked about a collegiate athlete signing event, which you said was April 23rd? They're gonna do-
Yep, 23rd.
23rd, okay. All right, so we'll be doing that to celebrate some of our seniors and what they're looking forward to in the future, so exciting. And we didn't really talk about the summer scholars because Katie was gone, so we'll have more to talk about in our next meeting about that, promoting summer school. Just kind of wanted to start getting a plan together to promote spring sports and our PR stars, which will be our booster club. So there wasn't a whole lot of fireworks at that meeting because we were down a lot of our creative minds, but it was good. And then our next meeting will be this Thursday.
Yep. HR, met the same night.
Yep, and we did, we had the salary review was first presented with some initial numbers and some information, but that's going to be continued, looked at, Todd's involved, and going to be kind of reviewing that and making things tie back to the budget, because it was kind of done in a way that didn't show the overall numbers, so Todd is working on that. We are reviewing currently and talking to different vendors and brokers for the benefits. Todd, you're doing that now too as well, right?
I they're just big contact this week. So.
Yeah, and then we were talking about staff survey, and Todd had said at the time that basically is handled by Carrie does it, Casey does it, and that was basically usually done.
Okay, CNP was, we didn't have one this month. We'll have one coming up next month, which sounds like things are moving there. Buildings and grounds met tonight.
Yep, so we had 4 points. We talked about air quality. Todd's going to be working with Rich on getting more information as to whether we're going to do a bipolar ionization generator or some other type of air quality feature. We talked a little bit about food service and the quality. Todd is aware that there's some known issues, and he's going to be working with administration on taking care of that. We did take a quick look at the 21-22 capital improvements for a budget. We're looking to have that approved sometime in May. Rich will be working on some quotes to firm up some of the numbers on that particular one. Rich did bring up the fact that he is getting quotes on LED lighting conversion. For the facilities, it's about a 3.25 ROI on that, which is looking promising, but he's only got one quote. He's looking to get a couple more quotes. We'd like to make a decision on that sometime in our May Building and Grounds Committee meeting, and hopefully get that approved as well. And then lastly, we had just a quick blurb on a discussion of current and future building and grounds usage. We had, what are we going to do with PES? And it sounds like there was a lot of energy that happened really fast, so maybe we can get a committee going on, different usages for that particular building in our district. It is an asset, and we should probably do it. So that's it.
Thank you, Michael. Finance Committee met tonight. Betsy?
Finance Committee did meet tonight. We had 3 points of discussion, the first being our deposit procedures, and we have assigned a few individuals to work on that so that can be streamlined, so that monies are handled in a timely fashion. We also discussed summer school, and the end of April, the registration will start to go out, and it will be staffed on as-needed basis, and costs will be further evaluated as needed. And then we discussed our paraprofessional special ed pay rate, and that is being examined further with comparables in the area as to what would be a fair rate for what our special ed pay deserves. So those were the 3 points that we discussed. In finance, unfortunately, we didn't have vouchers or any of those things to approve, but we will handle everything in May.
All right. Thank you. Carrie or Kaylee, any reports?
Scheduling, we're done with course requests, so we'll start working on master schedule and all of that. Deciding which courses we're gonna run. Started state testing as Katie did as well. She started forward this week. I'm doing ACT Aspire next week and forward the week after. Working on graduation, senior awards night, all of that. Spring sports will start here shortly. 35 days left, that's what I got.
Oh, we had the fifth grade transition day up here at the beginning of the month, which went really, really well. I think our fifth graders are really excited. We got to get in the classroom, we toured the school, we lunched out in the cafeteria with all the middle schoolers, so it was a successful day.
Thank you. Can we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda passes. Action items. A, consider approval of the contracted services of Ryan Jonas Technologies for next school year, 21-22. You have the information in your board packet. We've used Ryan numerous years. It seems like the same situation we've had, so we just need a motion and
I'll make a motion to consider the approval of the contracted services of Ryan Jonas Technologies for 21-22 school year.
is there a second?
I'll second.
Like I said, he does a really nice job. I think that it's a good deal. The fact that it's contracted service means no benefits, and if for some reason we don't want to use those services anymore, contracted services, it's much easier to depart. But I don't envision that. I mean, the work he's doing has been really, really good. I think the technology here certainly rivals the technology in my prior district, where we seem like we have unlimited sums for technology, but at least the IT director thought so. But in any event, he's doing very well for us. I think we're in a good position.
He seems like he's very available.
He 24/7. This last week or so, I've got him on almost any time of the day or night. So.
I have a question regarding the amount per month. Is it the same as last year?
I think it's just a slight increase, but I don't, it's not very much. I mean, I couldn't find last year's contract, and
I thought it was maybe 5,000 versus like this one, 55.
I thought it was similar, because I had that question too.
I didn't take the time to go back and look.
The prior current business administrator didn't have the information either, so it was hard to judge. But
I do know that he took he sharpened his pencil for us
Quite a bit.
So I
he did.
just wanted to see if it was.
But I mean, the reliability of the technology district is very good, and I think that in itself is for that monthly cost is pretty good, with no benefits or other added costs.
I agree. I just wanted to know how it compared.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Action item B, consider approval of the SCN document for fall semester of 2021. Got that in your board packet too. I believe there were five or six kids? Five kids?
Yeah.
All WCTC.
Correct.
Seemed like very, really good classes.
I'll make a motion to consider approval of the SCN document for the fall semester of 2021.
I'll second.
Any questions or discussion?
No.
Good luck to them.
Love it. Good luck, kids.
Yeah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. District Administrator's report.
Well, first of all, in talking with Mitzi, I mean, we are missing financial reports. I'm hoping we can get some of those in written format out to the board. We just need to get into files and download some information. Hopefully we can get some form of that out. I'm interested in changing the format of those anyways, because I think there's some more transparency that could be received by doing that. Secondly, I will be discussing at HR Thursday night some considerations for the office, at least both temporarily, maybe long-term, to make sure that we get all our points covered. I think we're fortunate that we have both Brad and Joanna who really settled in and you know, are confident in what they're doing. But that plan will be coming forward as well. Other than that, I think our other restructure we've done is going along well. I mean, I think you've seen that with the athletic hires. I think we're in good shape there. And I, at this point, haven't heard any issues. I did meet with some coaches a couple of weeks ago just to kind of discuss where we're going with the athletic program, the fact that we want to continue to build that and make it a good, strong program. So that's very important.
All right, thank you. Announcements and board comments. I'd like to congratulate Mitzi and Christiana for being reelected to the board. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And along with that, we have to set a reorganization meeting date
Correct.
and time. So we were talking, can we do that attached to the May board meeting? Is that in the time frame?
I'm going to have to check. It might be. I thought it was the 4th week of April, but I need to. I was just looking at it, and it escaped me right now. So.
Okay, it's like 30 days from the election or before?
Yeah, there's a deadline date, like X amount of Mondays from. Yeah, I'll check it again. I was while I was looking at the oaths and so on, oath of office, I saw that, and then it just didn't register because I had heard that maybe there's potential late April. So if that's the case, I think we're okay there.
But you've taken your oath of office. If everyone on the board could be thinking about if they enjoyed the committees they were on, if they'd like to jump to a different one, if they want to chair one.
I'm not sure enjoy is the right word.
If you felt...
Thank you for your service.
Okay, we'll move on.
I think though we would, if we can, we'd like to do it at the May meetings. We don't.
Okay, yeah, if that works, I will definitely check that again.
Yeah.
It has to be, was it 30 days of the fourth Monday in April? So then 30 days of April 26th, right?
I'm not quoting because one thing I read said one thing, the next thing I said something else, so I'm out.
And I listened to the seminar
Todd-
today, and they
Todd will
said
figure
you've
it
got to look at your own, what this district has.
Yeah, I'll
Look
check.
at it and let us know. And if,
Right.
obviously, everyone's first choice is going to be if we can do it at the May 14th,
Yeah,
that'd be
right.
fantastic. Maybe we have to do it like right before or right
And
after.
it seems to me, I've been in something in May, but that might be because there was a late April.
The way it-
So I'll have to go back and,
See if we can get a COVID waiver.
yeah. Well, these days you get a waiver for just about anything, so.
Just saying.
I'm not sure what would happen, now that the oaths are done, you know, everyone's elected, but I honestly don't know what would happen if you did wait till, I mean,
If we waited till May.
yeah.
It's legally got to be done in a certain time.
Right,
That's all-
right, but
that's all I
I'm just saying
Yeah.
that I'm not sure what would ever happen if you didn't do it, but I'll check on the dates for sure and come up with the deadline.
All right. Thank you. Any other board comments?
I just would like to say how wonderful it was to see not only our art students and Rose, but to hear all the positives that are being reflected based on the decisions that we're making. And that's very rewarding, and it's kind of overwhelming. But I just think that we're doing the right things, and we're doing it, I believe all of us are doing it for the right reason, which is the kids in our school. And I just think that that's starting to really become a thing.
Yes, I agree. It's a great district. It's great to be a part of it. It's great to have all of you a part of it. And just now to see all the really good, awesome things happening. I can't wait to see all the scholarships our kids are getting at senior awards night and everything else that happens in the spring, which is going to be fantastic.
And I don't mean it conceited that it's just us doing it, but I mean it's a whole team effort, and it's just so nice to be seeing the great lengths that the rewards are coming in. I guess I don't know how to phrase it right, but it's really rewarding.
Okay, upcoming meetings are listed.
But HR is on there, I noticed.
Yeah, I thought it.
Yep, that's Thursday, 4:30.
At what time?
4:30?
I snuck it on.
That's Brad's fault.
We would like him to
No, I'm just picking them. Can we have a motion to go into closed session?
I'll make a motion to go into closed session.
Second.
We need a roll call vote for that.
Tara Leroy,
Yes.
Michaeletti.
Yes.
Zach Rakowski.
Yes.
Doris Parsons.
Yes.
Jean Reed.
Yes.
Mitzi Rashewski.
Yes.
Christiana Williams.
Yes.
All right, we're now in closed session. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
I should talk to Rich.